Hey, Expediting with Lucy here. I'm sitting in my official chair at home and I'm looking in the background at what I see here. I never thought about this, but the green thing right there, that's a French Foreign Legion recruiting poster. Over here is my Pacific Ocean World War II stuff, including some San from Iwo Jima, an autographed picture of one of the flag raisers on Iwo Jima, and there is a photo, where it's a photo of some kamikaze pilots. Behind them is an old era, the little bandana they wore with the red dot on it behind it. Just kind of some stuff I made. I'm sensing today's video is going to be rambling, but it does have a point at the end. And during the course of my life, I've owned 5 Volkswagen Bugs. And I had a 62 back in high school, way back, and 4 newer models. And the last Bug I owned was an '08, a beautiful car, bright red, shiny, sunroof, nice wheels, tinted windows, great stereo, had a wired radar in it. It was a really good car. And after driving it for a few years, my wife and I got to the point where we didn't need a second car, so we gave it to my stepdaughter, aka my bonus daughter, as she calls herself, which I kind of like that version. And she traveled out here from Oregon. Remember, I live in the Houston area. And my wife and my bonus daughter got in the car and did an epic cross-country drive to take it back home to Oregon. They got to go up through the Rockies and out in the deserts and stuff. And the car has the legendary 5-cylinder engine that Volkswagen came out with, which is a wonderful power plant. And in the deserts of Utah and Nevada, they were able to stretch the car's legs by going 65 miles an hour times 2 a few times to let it have fun. And the car's name was Fred. And Fred comes from, we would be talking about the car and we would say, we're going to go do X, Y, and Z for the red car. And for the red turned into Fred. So they got to go on an epic cross-country drive with Fred, had a good time, got to Oregon. That was last summer. Dumped the car off. She got to bond with it, and life is good. And I texted my bonus daughter about 2 weeks ago. She didn't respond for a while, so I texted her again, waited a few days, no response. I called her, got her voicemail, and I said, hey, what's going on? And my speculation was she joined the Foreign Legion. My wife thinks she ran off and joined the circus. Well, she ended up calling us back that day, and she was kind of bummed, and she was out of sorts. And she finally said, Fred's been destroyed. And the first thought when you hear that is, does anybody get hurt? The answer is no. The second thought is, it's just like a knife right into your heart, because I really liked that car. It had a great personality. It looked great. It ran great. It was a fun car to drive. And she said that nobody got hurt. Nobody was in the car, which brings up the next topic. Okay, I'll bite. How'd the car get destroyed? A meteorite? What happened? And that's where today's topic comes in. When I was a teenager, way back, when cars and horse-drawn buggies shared the road, my uncle, whose name is Fred, irony, my uncle taught me when you're driving a car with an automatic transmission and you put it in park, use the parking brake. Now, what everybody does, myself included, is you get in a car, you get to where you're going, your foot's on the brake, put it in park, turn the car off, take your foot off, and jump out. And then when you take off, the car kind of goes like this. All right, you feel it move. Well, what's happening is the weight of the car is resting on the transmission, and park is not a gear. Park is a pin, not that big. I mean, it's just a pin, and it just goes blink. So now the entire weight of the car is leaning on this, and they're not designed for that. And again, we've all done this, and you get in your car and you fire it up and you put it in gear, and it goes clang because you're ripping that pin out of that little hole. And again, your whole car is sitting on that pin, and that's something was still me at a young age. And I honestly don't remember if I had that conversation with my bonus daughter. But what happened, she was at a friend's house, someone she knows that has a farm and a very, very long driveway, dirt road. And they were in the house and they heard the sound of a really bad car accident. And they went outside and Fred was gone. And what happened was almost flat ground, but not quite. The car was in park. It didn't have the parking brake set, and the car popped that pin, broke it, I'm assuming, and rolled like 1,000 feet down a shallow hill, picked up a head of steam, went into some trees, and I've seen the pictures. It bent the rear axle, it ripped the driver's door off, the car got trashed. I mean, it's a heart-wrenching photo to see the car, and from the distance you could see the damage. You walk up close and it's just catastrophic. And that was just ugh. So today's topic is your parking brake. Now, if you think about your van weighs a whole lot more than a Volkswagen Bug, especially when it's full. Hopefully you're under 10,000 pounds, but think about 10,000 pounds, 5 tons sitting on this. That's not going to work out long term. I mean, a lot quicker than the transmission on Fred gave. So keep that in mind. When you stop, put it in park, get your foot on the brake, put it in park, set the parking brake before you let your foot off the brake so the vehicle doesn't go anywhere and that pin is left unmolested. When it's time to leave, put your foot on the parking brake. After you got the car started, the van, excuse me, put it in gear, then release the parking brake. Make that a habit. I don't care if you're on a hill. I don't care if you're on flat ground. Make it a habit. It'll save your transmission, and it might save you some catastrophe later on. And Fred got destroyed 2 weeks ago. We just found out, ooh, monster. That's our baby panther, by the way, in the background. It's got murder mittens. And it happened like 2 weeks ago, and we found out about it yesterday, and we're still reeling from it because that was such a wonderful car. And it's just something as simple as that. If it would have happened in a parking lot, it would have rolled 20 feet and bumped into something, or it would have hit a wall. No, it had to be on a nice long hill where it got a running start. And just the bright side of all this is she had it fully insured, which I never did. I'm cheap. I never had it insured like that, but she did. So she got a really good payout so she can get something else. It's just you can't buy a car with a personality. You can't buy a vehicle like that just anywhere. That body style of Bug is getting rare, and the few you see on the road are just destroyed. They're just worn out and beat up. So this car was beautiful. It looked new. It literally looked new. So I'm giving her all the wishes, good wishes in the world to find a replacement, and we're kind of working that with her a little bit, trying to help out. So that's it. I want to talk about your parking brake. Use your parking brake. Stop, foot on the brake, in park, set the parking brake. Time to leave, start the engine, foot on the brake, put it in gear, release the parking brake. Keep the weight off the transmission. Just trying to save your van, trying to save you from grief like that. All right, Expedite with Lucy, I'm out.